don't hurt me no more. Don't hurt me, don't hurt me. I want no other lover. This is our life, our time. We are together, need you forever. Is it love? What is love? Baby, don't hurt me no more. What is love? Baby, don't hurt me no more. What is love? Baby, don't hurt me no more. What is love? Baby, don't hurt me no more. Baby, don't hurt me no more. Baby, don't hurt me no more.
What's up? What's up? What's up? Let's get this show on the road, shall we? How's everybody doing? This chat is lit. First off, I just want to say thank you for joining us from all over the world. I know there's so many people that are also watching the recording. I want to say what's up if you're watching the recording. I know this was in the middle of the night for quite a lot of people, and I didn't even consider that and actually setting the space and the time when we were going to start this. So I'm very excited. Who's ready to dive in? Should we just dive in? I think it's time. We're just gonna get started with it. A lot of Mexico in the house, Sweden in the house. Let's go. All right. So, over the next few minutes, if you'll allow me, I promise to give you information that will end your relationship confusion and frustrations. You'll know exactly why your man, or if you're single, men in general, or if you're a man yourself, isn't showing up and leading in the relationship. Now, feel free to take pictures, screenshots. There's so much gold in this, y'all. There's over 300 slides. I've got so much information to share with y'all. It's going to be great. But more than the information, it's going to be what it does to your soul. At the end of this call, I want you to walk away and you're like, whoa, something just happened inside of me. What was that? I haven't experienced something like that before. Like it wasn't an aha moment, but something lifted in your soul and your spirit and your heart. That's what we're going for today. So, and there's going to be some awesome information. Tag me if you do share anything on social media. I'll be blasting it out and getting the hype up for everybody to watch the recording and also join afterwards because this is being recorded. All right, where are we at? There we go. So, I want to know, why are you here? What do you want to get out of this masterclass? Post it in the comments. Like, this is 2 hours of your life on a Thursday night, or I don't know, whatever time it is for you, or whenever you're watching the recording. It's a lot of, time is precious. Why did you decide to be here? Just to listen to you. Y'all are sweet. I want my man to step it up. Be honest with yourself. Put it in the chat. Single, I need some clarity. Nuggets for my future harmonious partnership. Let's go. Preparation energy. We love that. To improve my relationship. I love your vibe. Y'all vibing with me. Learn about the masculine. You'll do a lot more than just that. Man, these y'all are going off. I can't even keep up. Preparing future relationships, struggling with keeping my heart open. I want to understand men. Deeply crave a man to lead me. Yeah. So what I'm getting at is you're confused. What's going on? Why aren't men showing up? We're confused about relationships in general. This industry is huge, and there's so much sometimes conflicting information on social media, right? Where it kind of seems paradoxical at times. You might be frustrated with him not showing up for you, or men in general. If you're single, you're just frustrated with men at large, or you're frustrated with yourself and your own patterns. You might be losing hope. There it is. You're frustrated with your own patterns in it. Can't seem to show up as the woman that you know you are, and you keep reverting back to the little girl inside of you. When it comes to relationships, maybe you're this strong, powerful, worthy, capable woman, and then all of a sudden you find love and you revert to the shy girl who sweeps things under the rug and keeps quiet, and you lose your sense of power. Maybe you're also losing hope. I know a few of y'all mentioned losing time. I fear that you're too intimidating for a healthy relationship. You're so strong, independent. You've accomplished so much results and success in your life, or you've built this life for yourself. Uh, you've built this, whether maybe it's an energy, you've built this energy about you that maybe you're fearing is intimidating, or you fear losing success for yourself when you fall in love because of the success in your life. You don't want to lose yourself when it comes to love because you've done that before and put other people in front of you all the time. Or that word. Maybe you're just feeling alone, or you're feeling, even if you're in a relationship, do you feel really connected? You feel like it's just you. You don't feel understood. You don't feel like people get it. And I just want to say thank you for being here to all of you for all of that, because I've been all of those things. There's people here who are struggling with a broken heart that just got out of a breakup, and you're in the confusion and you're lost in that. There's people here that are in an amazing relationship, but the spark isn't there. Maybe it's safe, but the passion isn't there and it's dying. And you're trying to figure out, you can't connect the dots. You can't reignite it or spark it. You don't know if you should double down or if you should keep waiting or you should leave. There's people here who are single and you know you have walls up, but you want love so bad. There's people here that are desperately looking for their person, and they're like, "Is this person on this class?" And they're like going to be all up in the comments looking for the men that are showing up because there are men here as well, uh, because you want it so bad. I've been all of that, and I just want to say I feel you, and I want to say thank you for being here. All of you is welcome, and you're going to get a lot out of this class today. I'm very excited. And it's not a mystery any all of y'all are experiencing this. All right. It's not just you. I have literally talked to thousands of women like you over the past decade that are experiencing these patterns and frustrations. It's where this whole thing came from. There's nothing wrong with you at all. And I want you to hear that. There's nothing wrong with you. It's not your fault why they're not stepping up, why they're not showing up, what you keep manifesting. Like, none of that. There's legitimately no trainings out there for powerful women like yourself to understand his part and your part and how to truly show up and empower him to step up. Now, maybe there's a few, and I don't know about them, but maybe not like this and what we're about to discover tonight. There's also a huge lack of modeling, which is baffling to me. And the advice online creates more divide than connection, oftentimes. You ever found that? Let me know in the chat. If you can understand things, but it keeps happening, or it seems like things are conflicting, and wait, I'm supposed to own my worth, and it's a full fuck yes, and it's got to be this way. But then, what about teamwork and making it work and all these other things? They seem conflicting at times. And listen, you're here because you're a woman with standards, or a man who's curious and willing to grow, who isn't willing to settle when it comes to love. Fuck yes. Let me know in the chat. Does that sound like you? You love love, but your experience hasn't lined up to that. Like you know that it's out there for you. It's just not what's happening in your life. You take ownership and you're committed to your inner work. You wouldn't be on this if you and sign up for a master class for 2 hours if you weren't committed to showing up for yourself and growing. You're successful in other areas of your life and you're ready to create a fuck yes love life as well. Can I get an amen and a hallelujah to that in the chat? Bah, 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 bah. In the comments, but there's no comment section. In the chat, there we go. It all requires your commitment to your transformation. That's all that this requires. I'm going to be sharing a lot of information today. If you can just stay committed to your transformation, I promise you something in you is going to shift and you're going to be like, holy bejesus, this was amazing. Whether your relationship works that you're in right now, if you're in a relationship, works out or not, or if you're single and you find the one or not, at the end of the day, you want to be in an amazing relationship that's safe where you can trust in his leadership. It's a full fuck yes love. And what that requires is your own evolution. If you can shift yourself and let God align your relationships to double down or to leave or to transition or to align and find whatever it is, well, you got the right lens. So let's align to a full fuck yes love life where you both grow closer to yourself and closer to God, because that's what this is all about anyway. We're all a bunch of people floating around on a rock hurling through space. Nobody knows what the fuck's going on. Can we grow closer to ourselves and God? Where you choose him and he claims you in all of the ups and downs, by the way, where you choose him for even his shadows and you can work with that, where he chooses you for even your shadows and you can work with that. And you're taken to spaces that you couldn't go on your own spiritually. Sometimes that's controversial. I truly believe that we need each other. You want to be the type of woman who could be a match for that. You're already powerful and you're bright, you're full of love, you know you're worthy, and there's some tough love. If it's not showing up in your life or your experience of your relationship isn't a match for what I'm talking about right now, and you're not feeling claimed, you're not a match for it, quantum physically. Or simply you haven't learned a skill of creating a fuck yes relationship for many reasons. And the good news, we're going to figure that out together over the next few hours. So, the information I'm sharing today is not common knowledge. This is all original content, y'all. I didn't read this in a fucking book. This is coming from my heart. This is coming from my experience. We're going to get into that later. But that's my mission, is to make this more known, because what's common creates more confusion oftentimes. And this won't be more information on attachment styles. Who knows so much about attachment styles? And you can explain and see it in everybody. I'm not going to be a broken record here. We ain't talking attachment styles. We're not talking masculine, feminine polarity bullshit. Yes, it's bullshit. And it's helpful, Kev. It helped me. Wait, but I help, the attachment styles really help me understand. Yeah. I don't want you to understand something. I want you to change your fucking love life. And understanding alone doesn't fix a feeling problem. This also isn't just father wound stuff or your trauma. That plays a role in it too. And this is deeper than that. This goes beyond that. What I'm going to share with you transcends and cuts through the noise. This is all about the energy. It's the soul behind things, the heart of the matter. This is the heart of relationships. That other shit is shit, to be honest, in my opinion, and it can create more problems than it solves. I've already said that a million times. So here's the thing: stay till the end for some live coaching Q&A. We're going to get rowdy. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be weird. You're going to love it because I'm going to share so much information with you. You're going to have some questions. And I'll also be sharing how to be a match for your full fuck yes relationship. So who's excited? I want drop some emojis in the chat. I want to know who's fucking excited. Yeah. And by the way, I do want this to be a dialogue. I want to see that chat lit up. It feeds my energy. So I know that I'm not just talking to a screen. I can't see faces. So I really want to see this chat lit up the whole time. Let this be a conversation and a running dialogue. Even if I don't prompt it, I want y'all to be saying amens and hallelujahs and praise Jesus, whatever it is in the chat. Questions, any of it. All right. Heck yeah. So, what's up? I'm Kevin, in case you didn't know. I want to share my vision for a second. Is to shift the nervous system of humanity by changing the culture of the home life and the love life multi-generations down. And that's, in my opinion, how we turn this motherfucker around. Now, what I mean by that is, imagine a child being born into a household where they have healthy modeling, they get their emotional needs met, and they feel deeply connected to their parents, and they have more ancestral gifts than trauma. And then that child grows up and meets another child and falls in love. Well, they're not children anymore, but you get the point, who's also grew up with that. And then they have a child, and that child meets that generation, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Do you see how we could change the world? Because I think a lot of the systematic stuff is going to be figured out. A lot of the tech stuff, I mean, it's booming right now. that's going to be figured out. The world's issues are grassroots issues. And then to me, it starts in the heart, and the heart is nurtured in the home and in the love life and in your relationships. This is how we do it. So I'm sharing this because I want you to know where I'm coming from and why I'm doing what I'm doing. I literally downloaded, quote unquote, got this in my Dharma 5 years ago, and I wrote a 500-year business plan. How is the world going to change because Kevin fucking Crenshaw was alive on the planet? And this is how I see it happening. So we just getting started, people. I love Jesus. I'm a Christian. I follow God. And I love dirty bass music. The dirtier, the better. The wubbier, the better. That's just me. That's my style. Stitch is my favorite spirit animal. So Lilo and Stitch. That Stitch is literally me. My friends that are on here fucking know. It's just my energy. I'm also a fire spinner and a DJ for fun. This picture on the right is my birthday party earlier this year. We had 250 people out. Some of them are in this master class right now, and that was a photo shoot I did earlier. Also, check out that tag at the bottom, the Vibe Daddy. That's my other Instagram, in case you didn't know. Shameless plug if you want to learn more about that aspect of my life. But here's the thing: I've worked with thousands of women over the past decade in their love lives. I've been doing this for 10 years, and I've noticed patterns in men and in women. I've seen what works. And I actually have a podcast. In my podcast, for those of you that didn't know, sometimes I interview couples who've been together for over a decade, and I ask them about what works. So I've really literally studied and researched these people. I have dozens of episodes like that. And I've also seen what doesn't. I've coached people through separations, after separations. Um, I've coached people into to alignment, and then recognizing that they both came to the conclusion it wasn't a match, right? So I've also lived this myself. And quick story time, how I became the heart guy, how I'm doing what I'm doing now. Um, I'm just going to do the quick run through, but I did a whole post series on this earlier. Some of you know it, some of you don't. Uh, about 10 years ago, my ex fiance left me for another man, and I held a loaded pistol and contemplated suicide. After that, I got picked up from that, and the two relationships after her ended because they both cheated on me. What the actual fuck? And then that started my quest. I asked myself a question that changed the trajectory of my life, that also planted the seed for the heart guy, and that is, what is it about me that's creating this? And then all of a sudden, I started diving into my inner work. I started reading books and Alison Armstrong and all these things, and I started to recognize, oh, I'm a people pleaser, codependent, Mr. Nice Guy who doesn't have a backbone. And so I started to learn about attachment styles and learn about all these things and work on myself. And a coworker of mine at the time, I used to be a group fitness instructor. He noticed that I was always reading about these things. Anyway, long story, invited me out to dinner one night, drilled me with questions. I thought it was interesting. Comes back a month later, he goes, "You saved my marriage." It's like, the fuck? And he said, "Yeah, what you shared, I implemented. We're better than we've ever been." And I was like, that was the first little glimmer for me. And I was like, maybe I could do this. The problem was I was like 23, 22, so I'm like, who the fuck am I to be doing this? And I had to go through and grow through a lot of things, emotionally unavailable women, getting in patterns with that, emotionally abusive patterns, and then my own shit, right? In being a match for calling that in. I also have had an accidental overdose on plant medicine, a near death experience that rocked my world. I grew the heart guy 5 years ago. I was doing events, all the things, helping people heal codependency, heal from breakups, and then whammo, God said, not yet. And I had an accidental overdose, and it's been 5 years from then, and I'm a totally different man. Um, and so I feel like I've integrated a lot, and I tried to run from this. I tried to stop it. I wasn't going to coach again. I was like, I'm done. Do something else. Tried it. That business failed miserably, and here we are. I can't run from God's calling in my life. So let me be real with you, like really real. Can I be real with y'all? Let me know in the chat. Y'all want that? I'm talking today about claiming and leading, and I'm going to be honest. At times, I have claimed and I have led as a man, and at times I haven't fully claimed and I haven't led. And I'm going to share with you why in this masterclass from a male perspective, from my experience, and from my decade of research. Who's ready? And I'll keep asking y'all. We just, and this hype train, that train has no brakes. So I want to take a journey with y'all. Imagine you're in this space. You get to fully relax around him. All right, maybe close your eyes for a second if you can. Just breathe and imagine whether he's in your life now or not, you can fully relax around him. Your brain gets to turn off like the little passenger princess you want to be in life. And you're just being with him, you just melt and your love melts you and it makes the best parts of you come alive. He shows up and pierces through your shit, and part of you hates it and part of you really loves it. Notice what comes up for you and you're even thinking about that. Are you like, fuck yeah, I'm ready? Where is it? Let's go. Oh yeah, I've experienced that before. Where did it go? Oh, is that even real? Let's get realistic. Uh, I want it so bad. What's happening for you? Uh-oh. Who's this? Negative Nancy. Sorry if anybody's name is Nancy here. There's no good men left. If he wanted to, he would. I put in all this work, but they haven't. I can't get past my patterns. I'm just so frustrated with myself and I'm in this loop. Men aren't emotionally mature, right? Do you sound like Negative Nancy? Any of these? Giving excuses? There's no good men left. Men aren't as emotionally mature. They're not putting in their work. Maybe you're just frustrated with yourself. If you wanted to, he would. You're putting that on everything. Like you're this princess in the top of a castle and you're not connecting. All right, class. What's getting in the way of Negative Nancy's love life? Put it in the chat. Her beliefs, herself. She's judging men, herself. Her thoughts, her energy. She is. You're all right because it's her beliefs. Okay, Negative Nancy, if you want it, you have to put aside your beliefs and what you think you know. And this goes for everybody on this call. If you want to get stuff out of this, this is going to be 2 hours of wasted time, or put everything else aside, be a student willing to learn something new and be willing to be flexible in your beliefs a little bit because it might just change your life. Capiche? Awesome. Okay. I'm willing to learn. Great. Let's move on. So, guess what? You're more powerful than you're giving yourself credit for. I'm talking to the ladies specifically. Because most of the time, men are responding to your energy, or at least men that are emotionally connected to you. If he has a connection to you, he is going to always kind of like somewhat monitor where you're at. If you're closed, it's sending him a signal that I can't show up. Okay. So there's no room here, right? Your energy is very powerful, and we're going to get into that later. So here's what we're going to cover together today. There's his part, number one, all about what a man needs in his life in order to lead in a relationship. Then there's your part, number two, and how you might be getting in the way of it. And there's actually only one thing that you need to do in order to evoke more of his leader and lover. And then how do you embody this information? Like, how do you do it where you live it, where you don't even, it's not something you're trying to do. It's just who you fucking are. That's embodiment. And so I'll also share a roadmap of how that's going to happen. So there's his part. Let's get into it. This is what men need in their life in order to step up and be the energy of leadership and claimership in the relationship. But it's not about what he's doing or not doing. It's about the energy that he's coming from. So ladies, take notes. Fellas, listen up. And let's give it up for the fellas who are putting in the work, by the way. Let's give some claps, some hoorahs, some high fives, some fire in the chat. Guys, you don't have to chat. I know you're probably just chilling and watching and observing. Take it in. I see you, bro. And I want to say thank you. Scott, I see Scott in here. What's up? What's up? Fellas, you can throw a smiley face in there if you want. See, Negative Nancy? You can be wrong. Guys are showing up. They're putting in the work. They're thinking about it. All right. All right. So, first, let's bust some myths. All right. Before we dive into all of his part, because there's some myths here that are going to get in the way and this shit's going to slap. All right. So, if he wanted to, he would. That's not entirely true. Now, I got to move this chat box for a second. Hold on. Now, it's true and it's not, especially if It's not fair unless you also hold yourself to that standard. So, do you do everything that you want to do? No. Sometimes fear blocks you. Have you written that book? I mean, some of y'all have, right? But like, are you really living up fully? Are you pursuing the person that you want to pursue? Like, are you open to it? Are you learning? Are you growing? No, we all have fear, insecurities, ways that we avoid, ways that we sabotage. So let's level the fucking playing field. All right. I think that's really important. Your view of what leadership or a backbone looks like. Nope. Because guess what? Men who are connected to you will respond to you, like I said, more so than you think. And he's not your father who's stubborn or maybe an ex who is stubborn. Don't expect him to be in his power and unwavering with his leadership with you at all times. You actually don't want that. You want a teammate, one who's ready to grab life by the horns with you and is saying, "This is where I'm going, and you're coming with me. What do you think about that? I want to hear what you want." And then we're going to merge that with what I know I want, and we're going to go together. That's what you want. You don't want a man who's just in his leadership all the time. So drop what you think it's supposed to look like, because a man's going to lead how a man's going to lead. And sometimes what you think he should be doing and what you think masculine leadership looks like actually gets in the way of his actual fucking masculine leadership. Y'all, it's getting spicy. All right. Looking for the one. Nope. That's a bold statement, Kev. Look, a new partner will change things. Yes and no. You might miss out on the greatest opportunity, though, to evolve into a more loving woman or man who has the capacity for a relationship that you want. Again, this is all about you and your power in love. So if you open the flow of love and trust in the placement of the people in your life instead of grasping or controlling. So instead of dumping him, can you just evolve into the best version of yourself and then allow God to orient as it happens? Now, obviously, things like abusive relationships don't match this description. Use your discernment here. But like, for real, what if you stop trying to control it all? What if you stop trying to protect yourself from getting abandoned again and lead first? What if you just worked on being your best self and trusted that the alignment will align itself? Myth busting. It's his work. He needs to step up and lead. He needs to learn and go to men's work in men's groups. He needs to do his ayahuasca. He needs to do his thing, blah, 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 blah. Look, yes and no. It is his responsibility, and we're going to get into that in a second, but his beliefs. But if this belief, I'm sorry, negates your own responsibility and it puts you in victim, and you don't want to live like that. You don't want to be in victim. So if you're putting all of it on him, well, then where the fuck is your power, right? So what I'm about to share is his work, and please don't use it against him. I'm giving y'all some really powerful shit tonight. With great power comes great responsibility. Don't hang this over him. All right. Show up to help him in his work. You want a teammate? Fucking be one. Also, if you're single, don't get discouraged the lack of men doing the work. There's a lot more that are showing up to do work right now. And you're not looking to change the culture. If you're like, man, I just don't see any good men anywhere. You're not looking for good men everywhere. You're looking for your one person. And I talked about the one earlier, but the mindset of the one, and they need to look like this, talk like this, be like this. There might be one for you. And you're looking for that one that you choose to be with. But don't get discouraged at the masses. And again, it's more about teamwork and your own posturing in the relationship. Capiche? Y'all feeling this? Cool. I keep throwing up the chat because the chat is, I gotta like hide it and then bring it back up. So amazing. So here it is. To lead, he needs to be in his body, to know where he's going, to know who he is, be having fun. That was a typo, but he needs to be, yeah, well, no, it's not. Okay. Be having fun along the way and be supported by other men. This is his part. We're about to get into all of these one by one, but take a screenshot, take your notes. Let me sit here for a second. This is it. This is the magic formula. This is the stuff that a man needs in his life to be in the energy of a fucking leader and somebody who's going to claim what the fuck they want. These are the ingredients for it. So let's dive in. Number one, he needs to be in his body. You don't want him to just do the dishes like he said he would. You don't want him to just take you on the date nights. What you want is this fucking killer to show up and claim the fuck out of you. That's an energy. It's not about, oh, but you need, okay, we're going to split the bills 50-50 and okay, but, or you're going to do this and da da da. And like, no, none of that would be a fucking issue. The dishes wouldn't be a fucking issue. Date nights or not wouldn't be a fucking issue. If he showed up in his way in his life where he fucking claimed you, that comes from his killer. Y'all are loving this in the chat. So what this means is he needs to have access to the dangerous part of him. When it comes to leadership, that's his aggression. That's his ability to be focused, decisive, and driven. That's how he accesses. There's so much to being in your body, right? But when I'm talking about leadership, claiming his killer, that's his aggressor. And when wielded properly, this is how he commands presence. So there's a spectrum here. Okay. I already hear some of the, oh, well, what about this? And I don't want man who's blah, 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 blah. All right, look. There's his killer and his lover. One without the other is no bueno. The killer without the lover is abusive. The lover without the killer is a safe, nice guy, people pleaser, pushover who was the old version of me. Now, this is a spectrum. It's not a light switch. He's not one or the other. He's both. Everybody put in the chat, both. Say it with me. Both. All right, great. So his killer is decisive, driven, and assertive. His lover is giving and kind and considerate, sometimes to a fault. So where is he on that spectrum at any given moment? Now, here's the interesting part. Access the killer is how he wields his anger. Can he go there if necessary? Right? That's how he protects. If a man can't fucking stand up and protect or stand up for what's right, you've got no backbone in that. You're not going to trust that. Rightfully so. This is how he sets a boundary. Can he say no? I used to be able to not say no at all. Something happened last night. Somebody asked me, "Hey, can you want to do this thing?" I instantly was like, "Nope." Yeah, no hard feelings, but nope. And I was like, "Damn, all right, Kev, that wouldn't have happened even a year ago." Can he stay disciplined? Can he do what's right? And can he face himself? Again, discernment here is important because men are either gardeners or consumers of your energy, ladies. We'll get into more of that in a second. But can he access and wield his anger? Meaning, can he even fucking go there? Now, if he lives there, it's bad. We talked about it. If he can't access it, that's also bad because then you're not going to be protected. And here's my little secret. I'm always angry. And I am. Because look, I'm going to skip around a little bit. In my Gene Keys, shout out Gene Keys, tenderness is my life's work. And I'll rip somebody's fucking face off if I have to. And I can also hold a very tender, loving space. It's what allows me to do the work with my clients. Right? Create such a safe space where all of you is welcome and all of you is held. There's no other intentions or motives, but just to see and be with that. I have a very tender heart and I feel things bigly. I am a Pisces. Okay. I live a very tender life. And I can rip faces off if I have to. My ability to go to both is what makes me dangerous. That's what also makes me effective. That's what also makes me safe. And oh, real quick, think about little boys, right? Destruction and combat are in the DNA of every man. And you might unconsciously be neutering that in him and sabotaging your own love life if you're not aware of it. So we're going to get into that a little bit more in a second. Number two, there's his knowing where he's going in his life. That's his purpose. Now, there we go. That's service to him. If he's serving himself, he's going to take your energy. If he's serving something greater than himself, He's going to give to your energy. Simple as that. And for a man, he needs purpose. Like you need sensuality to access your aliveness. A man who doesn't know where he's going is a man who's going to be a little boy that's just going to get lost in dopamine hits, dopamine rushes. He's not going to know himself. He's not going to know where he is. He's going to get easily distracted. He's going to be addicted to things the whole nine if he's not serving something greater than himself. And it doesn't have to be like what he's doing for a career. Does he have a higher purpose and calling in life? If he is he serving something bigger than himself on a day-to-day basis? That's what I'm talking about here, right? Now, I did a whole podcast on this, y'all. Um, Go to the heartbeat, screenshot this real quick. How to be with a man on purpose. I didn't put the episode number next to it, so apologies for that. But I do want to say, that was so good because there's so much difference between a man who's just a workaholic and a man who's on purpose. And being with him is going to be different in a lot of ways. When a man really knows his fucking purpose, it's a totally different relationship than a workaholic or even somebody who's not necessarily. So I'm gonna let that simmer. Go listen to the podcast. All right, so he needs to know who he is. That's his integrity. Men get this through solitude, space, where he's by himself and no demands. He can just be by himself. Now, that's different than disassociating. It's different than avoiding. It's different than escaping. The difference here is solitude. Can he have a place or a space where he finds peace, where he finds presence and he can reflect on his consciousness, or he can journal, or he can be contemplative? This is how he knows who he is. This is how he can really learn from his life. Otherwise, life is just flashing him by, and he's not really taking time to reflect. And if he's not, who he thinks he is going to be his ego, and it's not really going to be his soul. He hasn't been doing the digging, you know. For some men, this is meditation, it can be nature, running, journaling. It can be, kayaking, skiing. There's so many different ways that this can come up, but it almost you want to think like a ritual, surfing exactly, where there's a ritual nature to it. It's not just going and running, right? There's putting on your shoes, and then there's like maybe tracking it, and then there's afterwards, and like he'll do a whole thing. And by the way, when we're here, ladies, we're not thinking about much. We kind of enter this space where our mind can kind of go quiet, and then what's really surfacing can come up. And if he doesn't have that muscle, he just hasn't exercised it. He's running from himself, and that's a whole nother conversation. But he needs to be sit in solitude. If he doesn't get in this to himself, the nothing time, he won't really know himself. We talked about that, and he'll be a boy who's chasing addictions. Um, Having fun along the way. This is fuck off time, where he can literally fuck off and be a little kid. Similar to Nothing Space, this is where he can allow himself to play and be a big, crazy little boy. And he can fuck off and play and not take everything in life so serious, because a lot of men take a lot of responsibility on their shoulders, probably more than they really should often. And does he have a space where he can just offload, right? And this is really about chasing adrenaline and fun in uncertainty. So there's a little bit of uncertainty here. I don't know what's going to happen. The more that he can be in the fun, the better. Which this is like, can he play basketball versus watching basketball? As an example, can he go do the thing instead of watching it? Can he in watching it? He can have a little bit of that, but he needs to be in that essence. I do want to say something on this having fun bit, um, within boundaries and within agreements. So again, I'm kind of flying through all of this. I want to say, if you're single and you're scouting out, the right man, does he have these ingredients, right? Everybody goes through seasons in their life. So just look at if it's there, can you nurture it? You can't give him something that's not there, right? So can you nurture and grow it? If it's there a little bit, can you find your way in and expand it? You have that power. Don't wait for the finished product, right? Now, if you're watching this and you're in a relationship, again, how can you nurture it? We're going to get into all this stuff in a second. Supported by other men. Men need men, and we are in a crisis of that right now in society. Masculinity can only be bestowed by other men. Evolutionarily, you became a man when the chief put you through a ritual and you got out on the other side. And then all of the men in the tribe said, "You're one of us now." That shit don't happen no more. And that leads to a lot of problems. But with this, real quick, so in a similar way, you become a woman through other women in sisterhood. Truly. Now you can marry a man, it makes you a wife. Does it make you a woman? The women I know are surrounded by very powerful women, and the men that I know are surrounded by powerful men. Again, this is what I'm picking up on in my stuff. So now there's three different types of men he needs to be surrounded with. There's his peer group, quality and quantity. We are who we hang out with. So who the fuck is he hanging out with? Ladies who are single, that is the easiest way to get discernment. Who are his friends? Get to know him, and you'll really get to know him. He needs elders, counsel. Can he take leadership? How is he with? Can he follow? Because if he can't follow, he ain't going to lead. Because his leadership is coming from a very me-centric place. Can he take advice? And is he getting counsel? Is he that wise, or is he being a lone wolf and trying to do it all by himself? And being in service, is he serving other men? Is he leading other men? By the way, he can do all three of these things at the same fucking time. I do. How does he lead those other men? Where's it coming from? And this is more so, again, it could be one person, right? He has maybe it's his dad or an uncle or somebody as an elder. His peer group is just guys he hangs out with, and maybe he doesn't have many, and that's common with a lot of men, unfortunately. Um, or he does, but he keeps them at a distance. And then there's service to other men, right? Is whether it's his work or even in hobbies, can he go into a leadership role with other guys, or where's he at with that? That'll show you a lot about his killer energy and where he's at when it comes to you. Now, this all makes him dangerous with the paradox of making him safe. If he's in integrity and if he's a giver. And one last part, he has to see you in it. He needs to see you in his future. And there's nothing that you can do to get him ready for that, unfortunately. That's a decision that he's gonna wake up one day and go, "I'm ready," like SpongeBob, and he'll just fucking be ready. And so, can you? And we're gonna get into your part in a little bit, but can you be that space and around him to where he's like, "Oh, I'm ready now," and "Oh, it's you." So just because he's not ready doesn't mean you're next, for example. He has to be in the right space in his life to be ready for partnership. Whatever that looks like for him. That's between him and God. Every man is different. And he's got to see you in the picture of his future. That's huge. So why wouldn't he show up and lead? You already know that. You heard the goods, you heard the recipe. Now you're like, okay, well, what gets in the way of this? Y'all ready for that? Let me know in the chat. And also, real quick, let me know like how's this landing? I just want to get a pulse on the room. Y'all are ready? Yep, that part. Awesome. Let me get some water real quick. I'm yapping my yapper a lot. So, men have a masculine primal driver to coast and preserve his energy. Um, if he doesn't see himself winning or getting a reward, he won't pursue. So, evolutionarily, If there's a 500 calorie rabbit, really? Isn't he cute? Okay. But it's only 500 calories and it is a caveman and he's chasing this thing and he expends 700 calories to catch it and then eat it. That doesn't make a lot of sense mathematically. And we also have a knowing sense of us in that as well, right? And so, in a similar way, you might be that bunny. And if he has to expend all this energy before he can get a little taste, and I'm not talking about sexual energy, I'm talking about your heart, okay? Uh, at some point, he's gonna be like, okay, I'm just running here. Like, what? So we got smart and we created bow and arrows and guns and all things because that or a trap will catch and kill. And all that he's got to do is engage the muscles in his back. What, 10 calories, get 500 calories? It makes sense. That's how a man's brain works. Not we're not thinking about this, okay? Like I want to make that clear. This is like a energetic exchange type of a thing. And again, we're not mathematically doing this in our heads. It's a sense. It's like, do I feel an opening? Do I feel like I'm going to win? Do I feel a very high likelihood of achievement here? Okay, great. Yep, I'm going to do it because I know I can do it. If the likelihood of achievement is down, he's gonna be like, I don't know. And maybe he will muster himself up to try and everything. I've done that before too. But it'll take a lot out of him. I know, and we're not gonna show any blood on this call. So next slide. Leverage here, by the way, to get him out of why he's not showing up is gonna be the pain of loss or the inspiration of feeling so loved by you. That's what's going to get him to show up and lead. Or in any of these areas where he's not showing up, the pain of loss or potential loss has done it for men, or feeling so loved and inspired. And I'll get more into all this later. Also, in the chat, you asked about recording. Yeah, if you got to step away, this whole thing's being recorded, so you'll get an email afterwards. My man doesn't seem to care. We're gonna get into all these questions here in a little bit, y'all. I'm gonna keep on. Um, there's a king and a fool in every man, and the one that you talk to is the one that shows up. So for you that just said, my man doesn't seem to care. Maybe he doesn't seem that way, but what if he does? And because you're seeing that you think he doesn't, you're seeing his fool, and it's going to keep showing up, and you're going to get a confirmation bias dopamine hit in your brain, and you're going to be like, "Yep, see, told you." He just doesn't care, and then you're going to hit it. But what if he really, 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 really does? And he has a hard time with that, and he doesn't know emotional intelligence and X, Y, Z, right? Now we overstep our own values to get our needs met. So if he's not meeting his own needs, he doesn't know what his needs are. He's going to overstep his own values. And ladies, you do that too. Every human does this. Okay. He's got to give this to himself. You can't do it for him. And again, this is all about the energy we're talking about here. He's gonna he's gonna find it one way or another. Um, you can't give it to him, but you can nurture it and you can flame it. If there, he like he's the match, right? And then all of a sudden there's a little spark. And you can, I'm going to talk about it in a second, fan that flame. So a lot of boys got in trouble for doing essentially nothing, being boys. And I'm going to talk about this for a second because that's essentially neutering his own masculine development through your or his mother's or his ex's own judgment on all of this. And so men just say, it's kind of like what happened in school. Sit down and shut up, sit down and shut up, sit down and shut up. And then we wonder why everybody's sitting down and shutting up. And we have problems opening our hearts and opening our throats and speaking up for ourselves because you heard it so much in school. Well, the same happens for men. Show your heart, men aren't supposed to cry. Show your heart, you're met with toughen up. Show your heart, that's not safe. Don't be like that. Don't yell. No, we don't hit others, whatever it is. So he learns to be less of a man. Obviously, the hitting thing and there's ways to do it, but you're killing the energy unknowingly. And for a lot of well-intended mothers, um, make their boys into men that are the opposite of the men that hurt them. And most of the time, that includes neutering his aggressor, which we talked about earlier, which might come from your own insecurities or your own conditioning. It's what you saw your mom do in the household or your grandma or whatever, or it's what everybody else is doing. And then it's your own insecurities in it, right? Like, I don't want that energy here because you think you're going to get hurt. I don't know, whatever it is. Um, or he doesn't know how to process his emotions and he's developmentally he's stuck. Um, Willingness is key there, ladies. Like if he's willing to put in the work, your patience and your safety in that can inspire a man to show up and put in the work. Stop looking for a finished product. Nobody's a finished product. All right. So story time. Let's just take a deep collective breath. I need some water and I need to breathe because that was a lot. We've been running through a lot. I gotta check the time. I don't even know where my phone went. That's fun. Oh, the time's right there. It's almost 7 o'clock. We're doing great. All right, everybody's loving this. I love it. Cool. So I've claimed before, and it obviously didn't last. I've also not claimed before, and now I see that it was things that I were not in my life. The energy that he claims from matters more than his choosing to claim. Is it his fear or is it his truth? Now, here's the thing. Again, I've proposed before, and it came from a very insecure place of a please don't leave me, and if I do this, then you're mine, and I'll be safe. I've also led before, and I led from a place of what I thought it meant to be a man, and I was kind of like, dang it, it wasn't just who I was, right? I've also not claimed before and been in situationships and wrestled with my in and my out, 1 foot in, 1 foot out. I've also, um, been single and contemplated all of these things, and I've been in energy single and not had these things, and wondered why my life was so hard. I was in my fear. I wasn't in my truth. Screenshot this one. This is the biggest lesson that I've learned personally in all of this. A man is grounded because of three things. One of three things. He's either in his ego, he's seeking external validation, or he's grounded in God. He might be confident, but where is his confidence coming from? That's my journey right there. Man's grounded because of his ego. I was definitely in my ego, seeking external validation at one point, and I was confident because I wanted to feel what it would feel like for people to see me, you know. And now it's in God, and I'm confident because of that. I'm grounded because of that, and my connection with God. It's not about me. It's not about other people, and that's a different type of rock. It's a different type of foundation, and so. In my opinion, it is important, if you, especially if you are a woman of faith you're spiritually inclined. What's his relationship like with God? All right, let's get into it. There's your part. Your part. We've talked and talked and talked about what he needs. Now, what do you need to do? All right. How can you inspire more of this energy for him? Who's excited for that? Who's ready to own your own part? Say, you know what? Let me learn a few things. Awesome. Yep. So there's only one thing that you need to do. Only one. I made this so easy for y'all. Okay. Ready? There's one thing. I don't need to do shit. All right. Negative Nancy. Shut the fuck up. If you are you willing to give it a try, okay? Because here's the thing: if you want everything that you've ever wanted, you gotta do something different. Here it is. Ready? The anticipation. Drum roll. That's it. Trust him. Yeah. Now, real quick before you get your panties in a wad, That was probably triggering to some of you. Not every man is trustworthy. Okay. Also, sometimes trust needs to be fucking repaired. That's facts. All right. This doesn't mean that you're silent and you hold back. Speak your truth boldly, but let him lead. Can you let him lead even if he makes a mistake? Can you speak up and say, you're about to hit that rock, or you're about to go into bankruptcy, or you shouldn't partner with that person? And will you say, you know what? Decide what you want. I just need to say this. This is what I see. I trust you to lead this family. I trust you to lead me. You want to do it? Do it. I wouldn't. Can you do that? And if you do, I'm going to love you anyway, and I'm in it with you, and I'm not jumping ship. That's the trust that I'm talking about. Trust is the difference between guarded and open, control and surrender, me centric thinking versus we centric thinking, alone or connection. Does he have to earn your respect? Because men need respect, women need love. No, because you don't have to earn his love. He just gives it to you freely. So when it comes to respect, can you return the favor? Now, again, I said it before, I'm going to say it again. Don't wait for the finished product. Everyone's a process, including you. You also still love and respect somebody and not choose to be with them, by the way. Is he willing to show up and is he showing signs of progress? That's what really matters. Men who claim have often said, she has my back. What does that really mean? Can he count on you to count on him? Can he count on you to count on him, knowing that no matter what, if he fucks up and he tries this business venture and then this business venture, would you be willing to follow him anywhere? Or do you know better and you got to jump in and control it? Or he should live like this. Again, it's not one or the other. This is a spectrum. But can you go there? So let's cover three things, ladies. What does this look like? There's three ways that you might be getting in the way of that. And then there's what the fuck to do about it. Because I'm going to share with you how to embody more trust. So it's not just conceptual knowledge, as I talked about earlier. Okay. So give him space to lead, and oftentimes he will. Now, what does that fucking mean? Can you pull out of your masculine for a little bit? Could you offer to him, I want you to take the lead on this, babe. You decide. Period. In a sexy tone, I guarantee you that's going to inspire him to step up a little bit and be like, oh, damn. All right. What do I want to do? Again, if he has all of his parts, right? Because if he doesn't have his parts, he's not going to step up and lead. His insecurity is going to get in the way, blah, 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 blah. He will lead how he leads, not how you think he should. Tip, your judgment or reaction. This is the biggest tip. Screenshot this, please. Your reaction to his killer, his little boy that's having fun, his solitude time and time alone apart from you, time spent in his purpose and in work. Your judgment at any of that stuff might neuter his masculine leadership. If you think it's wrong, he's spending too much time, he should be showing up and taking more responsibility for things. He shouldn't be in that angry energy. Sometimes you may have to wake up his awareness to it, like, hey, you've got to show up and lead here, buddy. I trust your leadership and actually mean it, like speak to it. But further than that, sometimes you may need to help him by asking questions and help him find the answers too. So what I mean by that is if he doesn't know what to do, can you ask him questions to help him figure it out versus telling him what to do? And he may need time and solitude after to figure things out. And so obviously some patience here. This also looks like loving invitations. This is king and fool talk, as I talked about earlier. This is a loving invitation is the difference between nurturing him or mothering mistrust, which mistrust is just, or mothering energy is just you don't trust him to hold his own. Coaching him and thinking that he's a project and something to work on, and you've got all the answers because you've done all the inner work and you took Kevin's class, and so you're going to teach him all this stuff. Um, yeah. Versus nagging, and he's not a fucking Ken doll. Okay, nobody's perfect. So creating safety for him to be able to express all of him without being judged. You want to foreplay his emotions because men need time emotionally, like you need time physically to open up. Okay. So what that looks like would be a loving invitation. And this is speaking from desire to desire, which I'll talk about here in a second. Can you own your experience without making him at fault for that? That looks like something, you got into an argument. You can say, my abandonment fear is showing up right now and I'm feeling activated, versus I'm scared you're going to leave me. You say, this is what's happening in me and it has nothing to do with you. What can we do about it? And then that's when he'll show up in his hero mode and fix it mode and come. So I didn't talk about, I think I get to it later. I'm sorry, but loving invitations. It looks like it's coming up later. I'm sorry. There's a little bit of, yeah, that's gonna happen later. Showing the problem and letting him provide solutions. So for example, I feel unsafe when you do this thing. When you drink, I don't feel safe. I don't feel connected to you. What can we do about that? You're not saying stop drinking. You're not saying quit the behavior. It's we're in this together. That thing you do makes me feel this way. It might be my own shit. And like I said before, can you own your own stuff? What can we do about that? Most men are already painfully aware of their shortcomings, ladies. So speak to what you want. As not don't necessarily speak to more of what you don't want. Like stop that and stop this and don't do that and what about what you do like? Can you celebrate those wins and fan that flame so it's rewarding? He'll be like, oh yeah, I want to do that more because I feel good, and it lights her up. So yeah, again, I already said that. What can we do about it? Let his hero step in. So this is the problem. What do you want to do about it? What do we want to do about it? Right? That posture, that energy. Is this making sense? Let me know in the chat. Going silent. Okay, the gears are turning. I can hear them. Sometimes men will make it your work, right? Like I said before, it's like, well, that's your thing. Um, Repetition here, and maybe that's just a knee jerk reaction. Can you like get present with him and say maybe it is, but can we both take some responsibility here? And that's communication skills. This is my favorite one. We versus me. We is greater than me. This is the biggest shift that I see that the collective could make. Oh my God, it's amazing. With all of the talk about self, we forget about loving and love being a compromise. It's an agreement, it's a collaboration, it requires sacrifice. It's a three-legged race. All of a sudden, you're tied up to that person, and every move that you make in partnership sends a signal to your partner. What signal is it sending? Are you considering? Is he considering? Is there communication? Is there curiosity? Choice is huge here. We energy is setting agreements. Okay, I'll do this and you do this. This is my part and that is your part. We always both, your needs are my needs, your wants are my wants, your unsafety is my unsafety. We're both going to take a stake in this. It's not just you and your stuff. Like as a collective, and I see it so much on Instagram. It's like it's all about these are the green flags and the red flags and what to look out for, and this is the shitty behavior, this is this attachment style, and this is that thing, and like what the fuck? You'll see the insanity. Compromise isn't about lessening yourself. It's about choosing the partnership over yourself. This doesn't mean that you're abandoning you, okay? This means that you're loving him. Now, it would be self-abandonment if you're not speaking up and you're just letting him do whatever the fuck. Then it's not me or we, it's him, right? When it's we, you're still speaking up, you're still in your power, and you're in connection at the same time. Big major key. Again, this is a spectrum and what will build a long-term relationship. Another thing that this looks like is the art of acknowledgement. I mean, you trust. celebrating the ways that he is showing up, not the finished product. So don't wait for him to be a fully awakened divine masculine where he can be so present and hold you so perfectly as you whatever, right? He showed the fuck up and he did what he said he would once. Can that turn you the fuck on like as if he does it all the fucking time? And can you tell him and let him know? Because then he's gonna be like, the fuck, I'm gonna do that more. Speak to every little thing that you love and see, and it'll feed it. Speak from desire to desire. This is what I was talking about earlier with a loving invitation. Now, this sounds like I would love it if you XYZ, but from the energy of turn on and pleasure. Okay. So, not like I'd love it if you took out the fucking trash like you said you would. I'd love it if you did bickering. I really want you to go to that men's group. You know what would turn me on so much is if I watch you take out the trash right now. Can you like be joking with it and speak from like a oh, I want to rip your fucking oh, get in here, right? Like that energy. Can you do that from what you want? Now it's not manipulation. You're just having fun playing, right? Like and you're also evoking a certain behavior in him. There's nothing wrong with that. We all do that. It's respecting him also and seeing him fully. So when he is showing up and he is doing the thing and he does say do what he says he is gonna do and whatever the thing is for y'all, speak from desire to desire, and it's really seeing him is what it is. It's getting your lens, your glasses of what you think he is, and saying, "Wow, he is showing up. Wow, he is showing up. Wow, he is showing up." And slowly, it's going to change the way you see him. And it's more than just words. You see him trying his best. Yeah, we got that. So then there's resentment and respect for men at large. This goes for everybody. How you view men shapes how you love them. I'm gonna say that again for all y'all in the back. Hello. Y'all weren't listening. We've been going. How you view men shapes how you love them. Do you think he's incompatible, stupid, or do you think he's powerful and wise in ways that you aren't? It could go on and on and on and on with that. We often have resentment for things that they're doing that we don't think that we're allowed to do ourselves. But clearing resentment is the first thing that I do with my personal clients when they're in a relationship, oftentimes within the first month, because you can't build something new or you can't rebuild or you can't rebuild trust or you can't reignite the spark if you're stuck on energy from the past. Okay. And it looks like this. There's him and there's you. And there's a window in between y'all. And that's how you're able to see each other. Now the relationship is the third entity. You want to think about it like the window. Okay. And all of a sudden you don't speak up for that one thing that really bothered you. And then he didn't say anything when he felt unsafe because he thought he should be and he sees your good intentions. And then you notice that he was slacking a little bit and he noticed this thing that he didn't really like, but he just kept his mouth shut and it goes on and on. And then all of a sudden, oh, where did the passion go? Where did the relationship go? And then you're getting into fights. Now you're angry at each other, or you're just disappointed in the relationship, or you're looking elsewhere, and your view of them has changed. Well, it started like that. And then it got there. And it's all the resentment or like those little blots, the little things that add up over time. And it could be a big thing, right? And so what I teach my clients is about clearing the glass. It's like, hey, babe, I got to clear the glass. You hugged that guy and I could sense his energy and it made me feel a little jealous and whatever, but nothing to change, nothing to do, just clearing the glass. There it is. I love you, right? Boom. Capiche. You're good. You're back to clean. Both of your jobs is to clean the glass from your side of it so you can continuously to see the beauty in the other. Now, I've experienced and I've seen coaches and I've coached others over the past decade. I'm sorry. So this requires trust. There she is again. So what am I supposed to do? Sit back and trust that he'll change? He'll show up in my life. No, I'm running out of time. I'm not going to trust. I'm not talking about that negative Nancy. I'm talking about active trust versus passive trust. And those are two very different things. Active trust is teamwork. Active trust is you leaning into trust. Active trust is you still got your hands in it. You're still collaborating. You're showing up. Passive trust is Jesus take the wheel, and it's almost like I'm gonna go there. Being a sub, but in life to everything all the time, and you don't have a backbone. Like, I'm just trusting. Cool. Are you happy? Are you fulfilled? Do you have peace? Or do you need a little bit more active trust, which is like, I'm going to take this step and I'm going to trust that he's going to meet me too. Or I'm going to take this step and I'm going to trust that God's going to meet me too. I'm going to show up in my power and in connection at the same time. Right. So there's three ways that you might be getting in the way, which are your shadows, fears, and sabotage, and how that shows up for you in the relationship. There's another screenshot worthy one right here. You think you're too much and he thinks he's not enough. That goes across the board, across the planet for the population, I've noticed. So give him respect and validation, be his biggest cheerleader. Just like he need like you need him, I'm sorry, to provide safety and hold for all of you as you unravel and as you are all of yourself. That's how you really feel safe, right? He needs you to amplify and to speak life into him. Ladies, listen up. You're the voice of God in his life. God works through people. You're a people. If you love the man and you see what you see in him, can you fan that fucking flame with your words? Speak life over him and what you want more of, not what you want less of. If you see all the little things, if you see a problem, speak to how it makes you feel, point out the problem, but let him provide a solution. Can you show up in that level of fucking power of I'm going to show up and make this man a fucking king because I see it in him and I'm going to speak to it over and over and over again. He messes up, doesn't matter, over and over and over again. Fucks up, doesn't matter, over again. That fucking hurt. I forgive you, over and over and over again. And all of a sudden, there he is. You be that. Well, your insecurities might get in the way and your fears might get in the way. Can you love even more? That's how you liberate yourself from the fear. Show up fully in tender love, even if you're scared. There's another fear is you want to be submissive, but you don't want to lose your strong woman, right? You want to be in your feminine and melt into him, but you don't want to lose yourself or your power. You don't like if you're reverting back to the little girl, right? She has a place too. She's just not the one calling fucking shots. So show up for her first, and that's your own inner work, and then show up for the relationship. And if even if it needs to happen, I don't know what I meant by that. Hold on. Inner work first and then the relationship. Yeah, if it needs to happen. Like if it so sometimes you'll show up for her and then all of a sudden problem solved, you have no problems anymore and he has no fucking idea because it was all with you and your inner little girl, right? And sometimes it is like a hey, I want to celebrate this with you, or hey, I still want to bring this to you. Whatever. And this is all about maturing parts of you that are stuck. This is internal family systems stuff, and I use internal family systems a lot with my clients, along with somatics and hypnosis and a bunch of other tools. But we'll get into some stuff of that later. Another shadow is there's what to say, and then there's the embodiment of it. So you got to address the subconscious and somatic shit. Otherwise, all of these tools are manipulation and a way to get what you want. And it's all about ultimatums. This is what I learned. And so I'm going to try to do this thing so I can get what I want. Or you embody it. And I say, the only way to live a life and a love life that's a full fuck yes is if I become this woman, if I embody these things. And it's not something that I need to do, but it's somebody that I need to be. And so I have to face all of my insecurities and all of my fears and learn all the skills and be around all that and that energy so I can be her. That's different, right? Sabotage, another way that you might fuck it up. Can you flip flop in your leadership roles? Ladies, can you ask him out? Can you pursue him? Can you surprise him? Can you take him out somewhere on a surprise and pay for it all? Like that shit's hot to me. Can you go there? Or are you waiting for him to do all of it while he also holds down all of his life? All the fucking time. Get in there and spice shit up. Can you choose him? Fucking choose him then. Pursue him. And stop waiting for him to do all the things. Okay? That's a big key, by the way. I think most of my relationships started with them pursuing me. And a few of the men that I really look up to and respect, they're married. And again, respectful marriages and inspirational marriages. The woman pursued. So I thought it's interesting. Um, you will provide or you'll prove your insecurities right by bulldozing over your needs and values unless you address them. We already talked a little bit about that, but like whatever your deep insecurities are of whatever it is, we subconsciously look for proving it right and making it right. So we get a dopamine hit. We'd rather be in right than in love oftentimes. So deal with it. You know, there's so much work there. And this is also inner parts playing out for redemption. So don't let your shadow get in the way. And this is what I do with my clients. There's parts of you that are stuck in time, right? Your dad never paid attention to you, so you get in relationships with guys that don't pay attention to you, and your little girl is triggered because she's calling the shots subconsciously, and she's trying to get a same scenario and finally win, and finally be enough. And this is why patterns happen until she matures and isn't looking for redemption anymore. Then you break the pattern, and that's a lot of the work that I do with clients. So trust in yourself, in God, in Him. Where you don't trust, you will sabotage. And not all men are trustworthy. I already said it. Calm down. Literally saying to him, I trust you. I'll follow you anywhere. And meaning it, even if he fucks up. Talked about that already. So here's what to do about it. All this takes time. And before we get into questions and coaching, and because I want your life to change from this masterclass alone, I'm going to show you 7 hacks. I want you all to take screenshots. Get ready. I'm seeing some questions in the chat. We're going to get to that here in just a second. So save your questions. But for right now, get ready to take some screenshots or take some notes. This is tangible hacks, things that you can do, implement right now, and it's going to improve your love life. Y'all ready for it? I want to see a hype up in the chat. But while you're hyping the chat up, breathe. I'm going to take some water, stretch, get up. We've been at it for a while. It's 7:20. We're on time. We might go a little late answering questions, and that's fine, but yeah, I'm just giving y'all the goods. I'm going to center for a second. I have been yapping my yapper. My body feels it. Holy shit. This is so much to talk about in 2 hours. I probably should have made this a little longer. But here we are. Y'all are getting like a fire hydrant. So sorry if I'm talking fast. I want to give everything to y'all. I care. All right. So all of this stuff takes time. So 7 hacks. Here we go. Hack 1. The most masculine men will lose focus if your insecurities start entering the picture or triggering his insecurities. Okay. So it'll trigger his hero to want to come up and save you. And that's one of his archetypes. And you kind of want that. Like you want him to save you and save the day and protect you and all the things. It's not necessarily codependent all the time, but it'll trigger that part of him to show up if your insecurities or your are coming up between y'all, especially if he really cares about you and he's claiming you and he's wanting to claim you, he's going to be like, oh, okay, let's work it out. Da, 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 da. And if then you're in a toxic cycle, quote unquote, and you've become the focus of his life instead of him focusing on his purpose or God. But then you're both in trouble. So here's the tip. Here's the hack. Direct his energy away from you. Give him a target, or you'll be the target. And as much as you crave his attention, you really don't want to be his purpose in life. So it's that goal, it's that promotion, and it's that hobby. Encourage it. Go have fun. Right? Can you direct his focus and attention away from you or the problem? And that takes loving even through your insecurities, because your insecurities going to want him to show up and save the day, but he's not going to save you from your own insecurities. That's a you thing. All right. Next hack. Get some love advisors. These are people in your life who can support you in making the right choices, in giving you advice. So if you're single, this is a huge one. Um, this is how you know what you want and what you need. Write it down so you can logically look at the men in your life instead of letting your emotions control things. You go on a date and it's like, okay, did they match my non-negotiables? Do they match what I want? Or am I just riding a high because the connection felt great, right? And then also for everybody, get a board of advisors and friends, but be sure it's people that you respect and that you would trade love lives with. Huge, because they're going to give you the advice that's shaped their love life. To vet them or vet the men or give you advice in general or whatever it is. Love advisors. Hack number 3, let love reach past your wounds. I was kind of talking about it a little bit earlier, but love through it all. Sometimes loving more means also loving to yourself. I used to call this one loving even more. Like if you think you're so loving right now, if you're experiencing problems in your love life, love more. Love more. Can you love more? And sometimes in abusive situations, or for example, or toxic situations, that might mean loving yourself. And that doesn't necessarily mean no ultimatums, but showing up, being that one. Can we love each other in our anxiousness or avoidance? Is how stability is created. Is he on the path of doing the work? All right. We've already talked a little bit about that before. Hack number 4, knowing what a yes and a no feels like in your body. You have connection to your own intuition. Because if you can't trust your own intuition, you ain't going to trust a man. Your picker changes, by the way, when you have redemption for your past parts, like I talked about earlier, and you meet your own needs. Then all of a sudden, your somatic body changes, and what a yes is new. If a yes right now is a toxic dynamic, I used to have a thing where I was oddly attracted to uncertainty and emotional unsafety, and that was obviously I was living that pattern in my love life. And then I healed that part of me, and it wasn't a yes in my body anymore. It was actually a huge fuck no. Interesting. Hack number 5. This is a fun one. Shadow work in the bedroom. Spice things up. How you show up in the bedroom, oftentimes, whether it's self pleasure or in intimacy, is the part of you that really needs love and expression in your life in general the most. So do with that one what you will. I think I'm going to have a podcast because one of my podcast guests actually mentioned this to me, and that might be the episode for this upcoming Sunday. So, the Heartbeat podcast, shameless plug. Talk more about it then. Hack number 6. This is my favorite. If you're in an argument, bring levity to it. How to interrupt shit. When in doubt, tits out. Who doesn't love boobs? All right. Like for real though, if you're in something, sometimes you got to break the pattern and wake it up so you can like, oh wait, we're partners. Oh wait, like we're in this together. If you're butting heads, somebody who's more resourced has got to interrupt the pattern because you don't want to be in an argument. So do something outlandish, like flashing him, and I promise you, it's gonna wake him up like cold water to the face and be like, what were we fighting about? Another one that's not as fun is like dropping to the floor, you know, elbows on the floor, looking like this, and smile at each other, and then try to have an argument while you're on your belly on the floor. Doesn't fucking happen. Okay. But when in doubt, tits out. All right. Hack number 7, get a coach. Get somebody to support you through this. Only you know who's right for you at the end of the day. Your body will tell you. I'm obviously biased to myself, okay? But, I have a male perspective. I think that's huge. And I guide people into more trust so you can have more clarity in the direction of everything. And so you don't sabotage anymore. You're not getting in the way. I'm creeping up on working with 10,000 women um, across all of my events and courses and coaching and everything. So I'm definitely biased, but get you a coach, get you a mentor, get you somebody who has eyes on it, not just Instagram and not just you, because you can't see the picture while you're in the frame. And we already talked about all the Instagram stuff. A lot of the things that get liked the most are the most like harsh, like right angle type of it doesn't allow connection. It's ultimatums. It's me thinking. It's this thing. And it gets attention because if you're dysregulated in your nervous system, you're looking for certainty and somebody's saying something with certainty. So you would, oh, that's what it must mean. And we're all then following whoever's the most certain, not the most impactful. Interesting. All right. How do y'all, all right. How do we embody trust? Y'all ready for this? How are we doing on time? All right. We good. We good. 30 minutes. So you want to embody this, and why it's so important is because again, it's just who you are, not something you have to try and do. What triggers you, so it's supposed to say won't trigger you anymore, and what you're attracted to will change when you embody trust fully. And it's the difference between going to business school and building a business. Sometimes you just got to fuck around and find out, and you actually learn more than studying. Embodying it is fucking around, finding out, just going and doing it in real life versus studying from afar, reading the books. Can you get in it? There's no more time to waste when it comes to love, y'all. You can do all the healing in the world, but if you don't work on your relationship to relationships specifically, the patterns will repeat. And no amount of sensual and body work, plant medicine, coming home is actually going to change your love life. Because what you need to do is shift your nervous system's association to intimacy, men, and relationship. But if you're just shifting your nervous system, I mean, yeah, that's great. It's going to help. Again, like I'm not knocking any of those things, but it's not going to change patterns. And you're on this webinar because you're frustrated and you ain't experiencing the experience and the fuck yes and the love life that you want. Um, just like you didn't make $1 million with one euphoria moment of clarity. For those of you millionaires in here, I know there's a few of you. Or if you're successful in your business at all, you didn't have like this aha and then it just happened and fell in front of your lap. It was an aha, and then let's get to work and let's get to work and every day, and even when I doubt, and every day, and I'm going to show up and I'm going to get a coach and I'm going to hire and I'm going to, right? The repetition of that. So it's a journey in embodiment. And similar to building a business, it takes consistency. It's not linear, it's full of surprises, ups and downs, things you can't see. But having a plan, a coach, or a guide is going to help you, and you're going to get through it way quicker. So be compassionate and patient with yourself in this. You can't learn this stuff overnight, and you'll know what to do because you know what not to do sometimes. So just forgive yourself for not knowing your past, right? Like drop all the shame, all the judgment of what's happened in the past. Let's focus on changing the future. We can't change the past, but we can definitely embody stuff right now to change our story in our love lives and the story of our lives. And when we think about when we're 80 and we look back, we say, you know what, I actually made a shift and I made a stand and I didn't just wait for the perfect guy to bust through my wall like the fucking Kool-Aid man. Oh yeah, and I'm here and he changed my life. Like, what the fuck? You change your life. God changes your life. You change your life with a partner, not because of a partner. All right, so I got some good news and bad news. Which one y'all want first? Type it in the chat. Bad news first. Y'all bad. One person wanted the good news. All right, bad news. It takes time to embody her and to fully trust. But here's the good news. It doesn't have to. You know the person who's like in therapy all the fucking time and you're like, damn, dude, like, or they've gone to 120 ayahuasca ceremonies and you're like, I think it should have worked by now. You know, like it doesn't have to take that long to make a shift. If you're a powerful woman and this spoke to you and you want to show up as the queen in your power in love, to create a fuck yes relationship. I want to show you a step by step on how to get there in just 6 months. Who wants that? Is that cool? Can I share this with y'all? This is literally what I guide people through. Um, where it really is in less than that. I think I have that on the next slide. Yeah, in 1 month, you're gonna feel a shift in your love life. At least a month. In 3 months, it's gonna be a whole new fucking timeline. You're like, what the fuck just happened? And in 6 months, there's absolutely no going back. You know it in your soul. Okay. And this is the proven process that I've been using with some of my one-on-one clients over the past 3 years, where I've kind of been in this like solitude era. So here it is. Step number one. I call this the open and align method. And there's three parts to it. And so I start with the open and align method because we're really opening your soul to intimacy, to love again, and you're aligning to a full fuck yes frequency. Because if we don't clear out the baggage, as we talked about before with resentment, like for example, and we try to do all these other things and build a new future, this stuff's going to drag you down. So we got to clear and clean your nervous system. So that's the first thing is a central nervous system intimacy reset. Any of your intimacy stuff with men in the past, exes, anybody who's sexually abused you, your father, anybody who's been close to you, we clear and hit a reset button on your nervous system. You got to open the floodgates of worthiness where it's like I don't just know I'm worthy, I'm just worthiness itself. Like it's not even a fucking question. I don't have to say it as an affirmation and make reminders and write it on my mirror and all that stuff. I'm just I know I'm worthy. Duh. And it hits you like a remembrance, like you've never and you'll never forget it. Like it'll actually stick. And that's what happens with the floodgates of worthiness. And then you get off the roller coaster roadmap. And this is if you're on those ups and downs, highs and lows, hots and colds, all that shit goes out the window. You can get off the roller coaster. And I have a whole system and a process for that. And all of those three things is the open and align method. And I use that when going in, starting with clients, because you really see a shift and a change, and you're feeling worthy. You have a different association in your body. Your yeses and nos change. Your patterns are shifting. Now we have an opening in your being, in your love story, in your heart, and you're starting to align with more of a fuck yes. Now, step two is the power and love matrix, is what I call it, because this is all about being in your power and in love at the same time. So you're not losing yourself in love and you lose your power. You're not in your power but no love, and you're just successful in all the things, but you got cages around your heart, right? You're fusing the two together where you feel. Imagine how it would feel to be in your power, in your connection, and not have it be like this high horse thing. But like we're collaborating, we're a fucking team, and I feel really fucking good. That's what this is. So first, your strong attachment anchoring is the first thing that we do, and that's just anchoring into a secure attachment and actually embodying that fully. Then there's a vocal empowerment activation, and this is where you actually have the power to respond where you might, clam up, shut down, whatever it is, and you're using your voice. So you have this huge empowerment in your voice to be able to speak up and not revert back to the little girl, right? To be able to speak your needs and know your needs, and where you connect your heart and your sacral to your throat. There's no blockages there, so you're able to speak up, and then you're able to connect without losing yourself or reverting back to the little girl, right? As I talked about earlier. And so you're able to stay in love and in power at the same time. That is the power and love matrix. Who is a fuck yes to that, by the way? I'd love to hear in the chat. Um, that's a big one. That's a real big one. And then step number three, there's the sanctuary effect. Now, this is where your love life feels like a sanctuary. It doesn't feel like a battleground, but it feels like this cozy, soft, loving, warm, blissful Garden of Eden, if you will. You can create that, by the way, and there's three ways to do that. to learn soulful communication skills. This is talking with the soul. So it's not just say this and say this like this and don't do this. Like it's deeper. There's also collaboration calibration in step three, and this is where you really anchor into a we centricness, where you're both calibrated to collaborating, and that's a whole process as well. And then there's nurturing his four archetypes, which, by the way, y'all, this is gonna blow your fucking mind. Today, we talked about one part of just one of those four archetypes. So, like, just to give you a little bit of perspective to how much there is in all of this, not just that one at the bottom right corner, but like all four of these steps. There's a lot here, and y'all just getting the tip of the iceberg is all I had time for, and the juiciest, one of the juicier ones, in my opinion. Step number four is Forever Honeymoon Portal. This is making your love life of honeymoon forever. It's done. You stepped into it. No going out of it. Who's like, who would be excited about that, right? So there's stability positioning, and that's like I'm sorry, posturing. I think was supposed to be the word that I wanted to use there, and that's having a posture of joy and peace in the relationship, where you really know that your partner's got your back. You really know their pure intentions, and like you're coming from that collaboration calibration. So it's like we have this stable baseline for joy and peace to live and thrive, and then from that, your understanding of love changes. Your understanding of trust in life changes, and your relationship with God starts to change. And then you fuck yes each other until happily ever after. And that's the fun part because that's feeding into each other and actually teach how to again evoke that where you're in your power and in love and they're in their power and in love, and it's this upward spiral where your energies are playing with each other and it just doesn't end. And that's how you make it last. You know, no looking back. And I just want to share real quick that this shit works. Um, because this isn't just some cool stuff that I pulled out of my ass. This is Amanda. Amanda, are you on the call, by the way? Type in the chat if you are. I think you said you might be here or you might not. Y'all can read a little bit of what she wrote here. I mean, I'm just going to share it for a second. She came to me. She said 5 kids. She's been with her husband for 20 years, and the passion died. She felt totally disconnected from her husband. She was a mess, and they hadn't been intimate sexually in over a year, and it was a really big problem. And 3 months later, after working with me and going through this process, they are so good. Their friends are baffled, like, "What the fuck? Who the fuck are y'all? Like, this is amazing. What are you doing?" Like, their whole lives are changed, and in her words, you can see over here their home has changed. Their relationship with their kids has changed. She is deeply connected to her whole family now. And before she was kind of like scraping by. 5 kids is a lot. And you got a partner and you're dealing with all these things and 20 years together. And they had so much resentment. They went through the resentment clearing process and did the CNS intimacy reset and other things. And she is glowing now, just launched a podcast, like high on life, high in love. They had the best sex they've ever had in their lives. Like it's great. And she also wanted me to note, I showed this to her. She said, let everybody know that I'm authentic in my love and in my power. It's changed her whole family. And it's just fucking awesome. And this is Caddy or Catherine. Are you on the call, Catherine? I think I saw your name earlier. This is what she wrote, and you all can read it on the right. But she came to me just really fucking frustrated. Only attracting emotionally unavailable men on repeat. And her anxious patterns, she was depressed. She was losing hope in love. And she literally told me on our first call, like, this is a Hail Mary. Like, if this doesn't work, like, what the fuck is the point of living? Like, it was bad. She knew all the things. She tried all the things. She's very experienced in the work. She guides other people in healing processes. But she was stuck in love life. And she has now, in just 3 months of working with me, met the man of her dreams. It's a full fuck yes, and he's emotionally available and fully claiming her, like fully claiming her. Like I'm like, dude, this is giving. I want to meet this motherfucker. This guy's doing the thing right, and it's not an act, and I really feel that. I personally think she's going to marry the guy. Um, and yeah, and I also just wanted to have a few moments for y'all to read here because she wanted to emphasize this ending right here for y'all. Um, that her old self is completely gone. How she's showing up in this relationship is completely changed. She is so in her power. And sure, they're dealing with things, but it's from a we centric, and she was so me centric before. And um, she called me an angel. I love that. This is Jessica. I'm gonna let her do the talking for a sec.
This man is literally changing my life. I have not even worked with him for 2 weeks, and I can't even describe to you guys the amount of awareness I have with myself and the people around me, and how many I spent over $30,000 on coaches and trainings in 2 weeks with this one man, and I am cracking open my heart. Like I'm connecting to myself in a deeper way. I feel like I'm acknowledging and allowing the parts of me that I've deemed unlovable to be seen, to be witnessed. I feel like the old me that wanted to disconnect from myself and numb out feels acknowledged, feels seen, feels heard. I feel like all of my relationships with men specifically and women are going to be changed just from this experience. And if this were the end of the experience with him, it would have all been worth it.
Y'all, that was 2 weeks into working with me, and it is a night and day difference with her right now. She has deepened in her faith. She's deepened in her um, career, and she's cleared a lot of energy. She's fully beaming. A lot of patterns with men have ended. She's developed deep relationships with women in her life. Just so much more supported, so much more trusting in everything. It's kind of wild. And here's the deal. I could do this all day. I've got hundreds, literally hundreds more. I mean, we could go, but I'm not. People gotten tattoos. Choose your heart over your hurt. This is probably one of my favorite ones, Athena. I think that Athena might be on here. I saw her working with Kevin was similar to my ayahuasca experience, but more potent and integrated. I was like, dude, I'm writing that shit down. It's great. Rochelle, merging your mind and your heart. Again, from working with me, I'm like, dude, this is wild. So here's the deal. I want to share with y'all something I've been cooking up. Is that cool? Can I share this with y'all? Type it in the chat. I mean, I'm gonna do it anyway, but this is like I haven't created something like this ever, and I haven't created in a very long time. Those of you that know my story, I took a break from coaching for many years after my near death, and this is the most robust, deep, potent, all of me, everything that I've fucking got that I've ever created, and I'm excited to announce, fuck yes. That is 6 months to creating a fuck yes love life, to be in your power and in love. And here's the deal. I'm taking 20 women to create a fuck yes love life who are committed to investing in a final transformation that changes their patterns with men forever. And I actually mean that. But I can only take 20 because here's the deal. I'm not creating anything else. I'm not launching any more courses. I'm not going to do events. I am bunkering down for 6 months with these 20 women. I'm not taking one-on-one clients. Like this is all of my focus for 6 months. And so because of that, I'm only taking 20 as quality matters. You're working directly with me, by the way. And in order to for this to be, is this for you or not, you need to be a woman who has high standards, who's not willing to settle, especially when it comes to your love life. You believe or you have a sliver of a belief that this is possible for you. You just need to know the path. You need to know the way. You're committed to growth. Again, it's all of you. You're here. You're taking ownership in your life. You're sick and tired of your current love story, or you're just like, man, I'm frustrated, or man, I want to figure this out, or man, I want to be. It's great right now, but it ain't a fuck yes. I want to fuck yes. You're ready to change the season. Ultimately, you know you're powerful, but now it's time to be powerful in connection and in love at the same time. Also, for fuck yes, you must want a full fuck yes relationship. That's kind of given. You want to be claimed, all of it, all of you, and you want to choose all of him and all of it, and to be able to be in that skillfully navigating each other's parts in connection. That's a lot of the communication stuff that I talked about in step number 2. To be in better collaboration with your partner, to learn how to nurture his heart and inspire his king instead of his fool, or triggering any other part of him. You really get to understand men at a very deep level. Again, what I talked about today was a part of 1/4 of that section of understanding men, which was 1/3 of a fourth of the whole process. Like, there's so much here, y'all. Um, to be in your power and in love, to create a love story that feels like a safe, passionate sanctuary, and you want to embody a deeper level of trust. But ultimately, you want to have your love life be the best part of your life. Who the fuck wants that? That's what this is. That's what fuck yes is. So here's what I'm going to give you in fuck yes: unlimited on demand coaching. This is what's included. So we're going to jump on group coaching calls every week. I give you customized in-depth coaching every time that you need it. There's also daily support available. So anytime, post your questions. I'm in the private message group. Literally, you have access to me for 6 months. It's like a little Kev in your pocket for 6 months, and I help with anything. It's like, he said this. What do I do? This pattern's coming up for me. What should I do? If it's not there in the modules yet, I'm going to be right there with you, walking you through it every step of the way for 6 months. And again, you're getting a male perspective here, which is very invaluable. It's different than calling up your girlfriends or waiting once a week to talk to a therapist. This isn't talk therapy. I'm be shooting you straight. I'm also going to give you the proven process for results and lifetime access to this. This is the what I talked about earlier, the 4 steps. There's no more guesswork. There's no more wondering if you're doing the right thing or not. Or okay, let me try this. Like, this is what works, and you're going to follow the blueprint. Where you get to be real. You're going to ask questions, and you're going to just watch the magic happen. The program is very detailed, and the curriculum, each month you'll have new modules, and it'll go through each one of the steps. It might be also bi-weekly. I haven't fully decided that yet, but it's going to drip out, and you'll have that process as we go. And the practical embodiment processes with everything, because it's not just like, this is great, learning things on a screen, but like, you need to embody this. So I'm going to give you like stuff to do in life that'll shift your nervous system, and you'll do stuff with me on the calls that are going to shift your nervous system. So you're embodying it, and you're living a full fuck yes. You also get savage accountability, and I'm talking savage, like a personal trainer, but for your heart and your love life. I'll be on you for showing up for yourself and creating your full fuck yes. If you're choosing into a program called fuck yes and you're half-assing that shit, I'm beyond you. Obviously in love, right? But like, I'm gonna be holding you accountable. And it's, look, 6 months is a long time. Life happens, things that happen, relationship transitions happen. Maybe you meet somebody. Like, there's so much that can happen. Business things, holidays are coming up. Like, I get it, and I'm gonna hold you to the fire, because again, this is my one focus for 6 months. I'll also be shooting you straight, uh, with a perfect concoction of tough love and tenderly holding space for you to fully come undone. And I mean, all of you gets to be seen, heard, acknowledged, and loved. And to be able to do that in a space with a man who doesn't want anything from you. You may have never felt that in your life. And that in and of itself is a lot, by the way. You also get some fuck yes soul sisters. And I'm talking the community where it's like, whoa, we've been in past lives together. We've done this together. Like, that's gonna happen. It happens in every one of my containers, and I know it's gonna happen with a program called Fuck Yes for Powerful Women. Like, you're also gonna be changing your love stories together, right? And so they're gonna understand your own struggles. Y'all gonna really click and get to know each other. But most importantly, you're there to solve it once and for all together. And so they're gonna be holding you accountable to that as well, in that journey. So you're not alone in this, right? And they get to hold you to a standard of a fuck yes. And as I talked about before, with like a board of advisors, like, maybe they're here. Now, it also includes a 3-day in-person retreat where you're deep diving with me for 100% transformation. And I mean, every single person there, their lives are completely transformed. That's what I mean by 100% transformation. Whether it's liberation, deliverance, we're literally going to shift timelines and cleanse your fucking soul at the retreat. That's where I love to play, is in person. I love retreat spaces because I'm a fucking savage. That's where my killer comes out in like the healing way. Because anything that's not love, it's gonna be out. And there will be memories that you'll remember for the rest of your life. Like when you're 80 with your man, you know, like, wow, I remember when I went to that retreat and it made our relationship what it is today. Or, I manifested and I aligned to you because of being in fuck yes. Like those stories aren't uncommon. I've had children been born because people decided to stay together or they met their partner and now they have kids. Like it blows my mind. The retreat, by the way, is optional. Um, Bonus guest expert monthly calls. So this is maybe a panel of men, and I get to bring on men that I know, respect, and love and trust, and you get to just drill them with questions, and you'll have men right there at your disposal that you get to ask anything to the male species. Or it's top relationship experts and influencers, and I have a lot of really well-known, expensive people on my podcast that I'm connected to, and I'm going to be bringing them into this Fuck Yes course so you can ask questions directly to them in their area of expertise. So it's not just going to be me teaching everything. You're also going to have access to my network, which is very huge. And then also mentors of mine that have shaped my life deeply are going to be able to show up and be there as well. So you're getting access to my access. And I'm very blessed to have that, having the podcast now at over 500 episodes, almost 500 episodes, I'm sorry. And being in a community and in a space where I'm connected with a lot of amazingly successful, wise, powerful men and women in this domain of relationships. This is my favorite part, y'all. This one right here. Your men get in with me. This ain't just about you. Can I get a hallelujah in the chat? I'm talking, if you got a man and he's willing, he's going to be in a men's group with me for 6 months. If you meet a man and he's willing, he's going to get in with me for 6 months. We're meeting twice a month, and that's where I'm going to uh, let him have it. That's right. Uh, I'll give it to him, and I'll support him with supporting you. Let's just say that it's going to be great. Eventually, I'm going to have a full men's, mastermind and course and all things, but this is the spark of that. It takes two to tango. So that's what's included in Fuck Yes. It's the private, unlimited, on-demand coaching, the group coaching, proven process results. That is the 4 things that I talked about earlier. The Savage accountability, Fuck Yes Soul Sisters. You get that retreat, which is again optional. Guest experts monthly, and then you also your men get to get in with me, and we get to get in the ring together. If that sounds like an experience you want in your life, can you just put a fuck yes in the comments? The retreat, we're going to figure that out together. We're going to figure out when and where based on who's in the group. So I don't know yet. Fuck yes. Let's go. If this just sounds like, again, like maybe a zing in your body or a tingle in your soul, and you're like, man, I don't know, but I don't know about this and da 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 da. Can you just follow it and just put fuck yes in the comments? All you gotta do. But listen to that zing in your body. Listen to the pull in your heart. You're on this call for a reason. You're getting the tingles in your body for a reason. I'm speaking to you. I'm speaking to your heart. I'm speaking to your soul because 20 women are specifically meant to be in 20 specific women are meant to be in this container together. And their lives are going to be forever changed. Again, your body's going to tell you if it's right or not. And this is you. If this is you, all right, I'm going to pull up the chat right now. I'm dropping a link. Open this link in another tab, and I want you to apply right now. Can I pin this? I can't pin that. Okay, but that's fine. Open that link in another tab, and I want you to apply right now. Because again, I'm only taking 20 women. And this is only open 2 times a year. It's only open once right now because this is me announcing it. But and also you're getting the first dibs. I'm not announcing this publicly until like a week from now. So if you're on the webinar, you're on the masterclass, you guys get first dibs on those 20 spots. And if those 20 spots get filled up, everybody, it's snooze, you lose for everybody else. So if we happen to be full and you're watching the recording of this right now, that link will still submit an application because that's going to go into a wait list, which when it opens 6 months from now, you'll be the first to know. So I'll let the wait list and I'll choose people from the wait list before I just go to my following and my audience. But fill out that application if this is something that your soul is saying yes to. And if you even if you're curious and you're like, man, I don't know about the timing. I don't know about my relationship stuff right now. I don't know about where I'm at. If you look, if you know, you know. If you're getting a zing, you're getting a zing. If you want to live a fuck yes love life, I'm only taking people who are a fuck yes to this. And if you're not a full fuck yes, by the way, fill out the application and maybe we can collaborate and we can be a little bit more we centric instead of me centric and create something that is a fuck yes, whatever that looks like to you. But let's talk, is what I'm saying. And the way that we talk, this is how this is going to work. So I'm going to answer questions. You're going to fill out the application and we'll get on a call afterwards. So we'll schedule a Zoom call and you'll be able to talk to me directly. I'm taking all of these calls because this is very special to me and I want to pick you as much as you pick me. Okay. And then again, anyone who commented "fuck yes," like be sure to send your application in now. So I'm hand selecting only 20 of you, and this journey is gonna be fucking amazing. But we're gonna get on a call, like I said, and that's where I'll address any questions. I'll be able to really support you in making sure that if this is a fuck yes for you or not, or if we need to collaborate in any certain way to make it a fuck yes for both of us. So that's what that's looking like. But I would love to answer any questions now about fuck yes and or about everything that I shared tonight. So this is the time too, where if you're still with me, type it in the chat. Oh, we only got like 2 minutes, y'all. Holy. We're gonna go a little bit later and doing some Q&A. But this is the 2 hours, so I know if y'all got to bounce, you can bounce, fill out that application, and I'll talk to you soon. Within like 24 or 48 hours, I'm going to be looking at all of these and going through them one by one in order. And again, there's only 20 and it's first come, first serve. So you're going to want to jump on this. Um, Answer time to some questions. All right, that's it. Y'all, we went through 301 slides together. That's an accomplishment. I love that. In 2 hours. Look at that. Right. So we got a question, and holy, um, I love my partner. I trust him. I follow him anywhere. And there's something that feels off. How do you know if it's my intuition telling me that he's not the person for me? Or is it the layers of pain and fear and getting in the way? How do you discern this? Something feels off, but I've also been very conditioned, or yeah, conditioned by a lot of this BS on IG about what love should look like or feel like. Um, Sarah, I just want to say thank you for the question. And I also want to say I relate deeply. I have been there. Um, the first thing that I would say is guard your mind. If you can, get off Instagram, delete the app. Um, get some solitude for yourself and pour into yourself. Don't try to figure it out. Don't try to get the answer. Create some solitude, create some distance, maybe even from him, and say, "Hey, I'm going through some stuff. I just need to take some time to myself. I love you deeply, and I just need to pour into me right now. Is that available? Can he respect that need of yours? And maybe go on a retreat or like a do some work, join fuck yes, you know, um, to re-enliven yourself. Okay. Don't try to be feminine. Do what makes you feel alive. And then over a few days or weeks or maybe even months, you'll have a lot more access to your intuition. You'll have drowned out the external noise and you'll be able to listen to the guidance. That's the only way to know. I have prematurely ended relationships because I thought it was my intuition. And then looking back, it was so many other things. So that'd be my advice from my experience. Again, any other questions, drop them in the chat. I'll be answering. We'll spend a few more minutes here, maybe like 10 minutes or so. Sarah, thank you so much. And again, I'm looking forward to hearing y'all in the filling out the applications. What if you had a man who was all that you mentioned, not done yet almost, and I blew it. I literally did all the wrong things, tried couples therapy. He said no, not doing it anymore. You grow your own now. And then it ended. It's been 2.5 years of cycles, undefined resentment of all of this. Is there hope? So, Jasmina, I feel you. I want to, there's always another perspective. And I don't think the perspective of you blew your one shot serves you. And it may not even be true because we can't see what we can't see and we don't know what we don't know. There's hope as long as you believe it. And until that part of you forgives you, until that part of you maybe even forgives him, until that part of you is cleared from your nervous system, you open and align to a new reality, you're going to be recreating the pattern because you're going to be looking for redemption for that. And you've got this voice now that's like, don't fuck it up, don't fuck it up, don't fuck it up. So guess what you're going to do? Fuck it up. And then you're going to prove yourself right. You're going to be like, there is no hope. And that's not a good place to be. So what I can share briefly would be, um, there's definitely hope because we don't know what we don't know, and work on forgiveness doesn't make any of it feel better, but be in a space to process that without moving on. How much does it cost? Good question. So Fuck Yes has a few different price options depending on if you want to do the retreat or not, and it also has a few different what's it called, payment plans. So click the application and all of that stuff is there. You can decide which package you want to get and also how you want to split up payments in a way that's easy and a fuck yes for you. So all of that is in the application. I'm going to drop the link again. Boom. Camila, pursuing a man, it's not getting out of alignment. It's not emasculating him. Okay, so is pursuing a man not you're not getting out of alignment, you're not emasculating him. Pursuing a man might not push him away. These are all fears created from the masculine feminine ish that I was talking about in the very beginning. Like, fuck that, dude. Do you love the guy? Show him. Like, stop trying to be feminine and be connected, be in love. Like you're too worried. And this is, I'm kind of picking on you right now, Camila, but like this is women at large, and this is the effects of that masculine feminine stuff. Goes for a lot of people. You're too worried about getting it wrong. You're too worried about emasculating him. You're too worried about being in alignment. Just fucking connect with the guy and get lit up about it. If you being in your full aliveness and your full fuck yes and your excitement to want to pursue somebody pushes them away, they ain't the one for you, honey. Like, let's get real. I find it hot, you know. So there's that. I'd consider myself masculine. It's worked for other men who are married now to the woman who pursued them first. Um, you know, hopefully that answers your question. Yeah, even if you barely know each other, do it. Full send it. Fuck yeah. From desire to desire, as I talked about earlier. Get sexy with it. Oh, I would love to take you on a date. Duffa, who are you? I'd love to go on said date. Okay. If he can follow. Or if he's fragile in his masculinity, then yeah, you're gonna push him away. No, I should be the man. I need to lead. The fuck? I feel like I'm scared to approach a man because I worry I'll pick the wrong one and he will be with me, but then secretly hiding that he's seeing other girls. Pisses me off. At male species, I've been experiencing being cheated on a lot in the past. So, Sophia, what I would say to that is central nervous system reset. Step number one of fuck yes is going to change your life. Fill out the application because you're definitely going to need to like clear that out of your system. Because again, you're scared to approach, which is your question, like how do I get over this fear? But you told me why, and it's the stuff in your nervous system. So it's not like you can't just show up and try to do different. And I'm going to change it. Your nervous system is going to be freaking the fuck out the whole time, and your somatic, your sensory experience of life is going to send signals to your brain, and your brain's going to go on overdrive and have all the thoughts you're having. So you want to fix the feeling, not the thoughts. That makes sense. So there needs to be forgiveness work. There needs to be. I'm going to go back real quick. So step one, all this is going to serve you. The worthiness stuff, the intimacy reset, you're going to need to open and align your system. You need to get off the roller coaster. Your roller coaster is the fear of being cheated on. It'll either keep producing that fear or it'll keep you in fear from even approaching men, right? So these systems in fuck yes are really going to be supportive for you. Um, yeah. I tried this, but he keeps sending me mixed messages. What do you mean by this, Lisa? I'm curious. I tried this. Jen, what if I'm pursuing his potential and he never reaches it? I don't want to waste my time following an illusion and idea of a person. How to be supportive without dishonoring my needs for a partner? Such a good question. All right. Everybody's got potential. I want you to fall in love with it. I want you to fall so madly in love with their potential that you inspire him to be it. Again, Instagram bullshit. Like, yeah, date for potential. You want to build a life with somebody. So, like, what the fuck? You want to date for what you see them being in the future. Um, Now, if he never reaches it, well, what if you had the posture and of, not if I have something to say about it, I'm gonna be his woman, and I'm definitely gonna pour into this motherfucker, and he's gonna just be so nurtured and so loving, and he's gonna step into his king because I'm in his life. That seems like a fuck yes woman. If you want to be that woman, by the way, fill out that application, join the course. That's what we're doing. And if he never reaches it, you get to alignment will align. Alignment will align. God will do its thing, and that relationship will leave and end. And that doesn't mean it's a waste of time. It's also your perspective of time, which goes into step 4, love, trust, and God. If you are seeing that you opening your heart and pursuing potential is a waste of time, you're pursuing somebody and you're loving of somebody is a waste of time, that's also something to look at. So there's a lot here. Lisa's question, mixed messages. We can be friends and we can do this together. Da, 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 da. I've been that guy. And I'll say this. At that point, you stay on the roller coaster until you've had enough. And then at some point, you've got to give an ultimatum. Are you choosing in or choosing out? Because I ain't doing this back and forth stuff anymore. Take a week to think about it. And then you don't talk for a week. That's what I would do. Because guess what? That's what worked for me. This shit works. Uh, Partnership of 13 years, Emma. Congratulations. My need for connection seems to be much deeper than his. I don't know how to encourage and inspire that, get that level that I'm craving. Um, there's a lot there on, let's say this the step 3 for you. So you have an assumption that he doesn't have as much of a need of connection. And again, you may have so much data to back that up, but he's a human being. Everybody has a need for connection at a very deep level. So he might be running from it. He might be unaware of it. He may not know how to meet it himself, whatever. Um, if he's not feeling connected, you're not feeling connected. So you don't need to connect, like force the connection, but can you pour into it? Can it be more fun? Like what is your definition of connection? Can you amplify that? Can you fuck yes each other? You know what I mean? Like, can you make it different than maybe what you're assuming? Because maybe he does feel connected to you. I don't know. There's a lot there. I would say join fuck yes. What if I want to pursue someone who has a partner? Well, that's not good. I feel like we still have something, but our time was off, and now he's starting something new, and I just feel like I'm connected to him. Well, you let him know, and then here's my cards. Here's all of it, and this is what it is. And you either get to be rejected or redirected, or he goes all in with you. But like, you got to Hail Mary that shit and stop holding on to hope. He's moving on, and you need to know if you need to move on too, and that means showing your hand. Let him know all of it, all of it. Awesome. All right. Time is it? It is 13 past. I just want to say from the bottom of my heart, thank you, thank you, thank you so much for being here. This was lovely. It's a full body. Fuck yes. Let's go. I'm excited to see the applications. I'm excited to talk to y'all on Zoom directly. Please fill out an application. Again, I'm going to type it one more time down here. Uh, I really hope that y'all learned a lot. Please DM me on Instagram and let me know. Tag me in anything that you share. Your likes, your comments, your shares all mean so much to me. And sometimes I don't see the impact that it has on you, right? You're like, oh my God, that changed my life. And maybe you hit share or something like, um, it just this stuff like this gives me faith to keep going. And I really hope that y'all got a lot of value out of this. I pray that it seeps into your subconscious and that it seeps into your beingness, and that even just by being here, you're starting to think about love and relationships differently, and that the ahas aren't just blips in time, but they actually shift the timeline of your life. And I pray over everybody on this call, and even people that didn't even make it this far, people that are watching the recording, that you really just take it and run with it, and that you really align yourself to living a fuck yes life, and that you make your love life the best part of your life. That's what I want for y'all, wholeheartedly. And that when we do that, and y'all have kids and they get raised in a safe household, and they grow up with somebody else who's raised in a safe household, and they meet each other's needs, and they fall in love and have a kid, and that kid has a kid with that generation, and that kid has a kid with that generation, we have a whole new planet Earth. And it starts with us. But we've got to choose it 2 feet in, full fuck yes. And I'll say this, if you want to be in an alignment, you want to feel fully claimed, you got to be 2 feet in yourself. When you're that energy and you hold that standard, watch him rise. Watch him show up, either in your life or if he's in your life now, he will show up. And that's what we doing here in these pots. All right. I'll see y'all on Instagram. Thank you for joining. Fill out an application. I'll see y'all very soon. Peace out.